Let's be honest, the Social Security Administration thinks you're bad at math, or maybe they're just hoping you are. There was a time when they actually had a calculator on their official website to help you decide exactly when to file. Then they deleted it. Why? Because people were actually using it and realizing that the standard advice to wait until 70 is often a raw deal. They want you to leave your money in the system as long as possible, because the longer you wait, the higher the chance Uncle Sam gets to keep your hard-earned cash when you're gone. Welcome to Money Simplified. Today, we're breaking the wait until 70 myth. I'm going to show you why taking the money at 62 isn't just a choice, it's a sophisticated financial maneuver. We're going to deep dive into the earnings test traps, the Medicare death zone, and why your 401k might actually be a tax time bomb. If you want to retire on your terms instead of the government's, pay very close attention. Think of Social Security like a faucet. You've been paying into this pipe your entire working life. Every year you wait, the pressure builds. Sure, if you wait until age 70, the water comes out like a fire hose. But what if your house is on fire right now? Or what if the pipe bursts before you even turn it on? If you wait too long, that water, your money, stays in the pipe forever. The government doesn't give prorated refunds to your kids for the years you skipped. Filing at 62 is about drinking the water while you're still thirsty. Let's meet Joe. Joe is our resident middle-class hero earning $90,000 a year. He's paid into Social Security for 35 years. Joe has 3 valves on his faucet. If he opens it at 62, he gets about $2,238 a month. If he waits until 67, his full retirement age, he gets $3,198. And if he waits until 70, he gets nearly $4,000. Most financial advisors will scream at Joe, "Wait for the $4,000." But they are ignoring the break-even trap. To make waiting until 70 worth it, Joe has to live at least 83 just to get back the money he skipped between 62 and 70. That's 8 years of zero checks. We're talking about over $214,000 in missed payments Joe has to make up for. If Joe passes away at 81, he just gifted the US government $250,000. Is that a bet you're willing to take? Let's talk about the COLA, the cost of living adjustment. Most break-even models set COLA to 0, which is a massive mistake. Every year, benefits are adjusted for inflation. Here's the compounding kicker. A 3% increase on $4,000 is $120, but a 3% increase on $2,238 is only about $67. Over 20 years, this gap becomes a monster. But if you take the money at 62 and invest it in a simple S&P 500 index fund, you're not just getting a check, you're building an empire that the Uncle Sam can't touch. Reason number 1 is what I call the bad news gene. Financial planners use average life expectancy, which is about 84 for someone who has already made it to 62. But average is a dangerous word. Half of the people die before the average. If your family history has a pattern of heart issues or cancer in the early 70s, waiting for a bonus at 70 is mathematically suicidal. Filing at 62 is your insurance policy against your own biology. It ensures you extract every penny while you're still capable of enjoying it. Reason number 2 involves the earnings test trap. This is where many people get burned. They say, "I'll file at 62 and keep my $100,000 job." Stop. That's a mistake. In 2026, if you earn over $23,000 while collecting early benefits, the Social Security Administration will withhold $1 for every $2 you earn over that limit. It's a 50% tax on your benefits. However, many people don't realize this money isn't lost forever. Once you hit 67, they recalculate your check to give it back. But why let the government hold your money interest-free for 5 years? If you're filing at 62, you should be transitioning to part-time work or full retirement. Reason number 3 is the Medicare gap crisis. This is the single biggest mistake 62 filers make. Your checks start at 62, but Medicare doesn't start until 65. If you quit your job at 62, you're entering the Medicare desert. Private insurance for a 62-year-old can cost $1,500 a month. Suddenly, your Social Security check is almost entirely gone just to pay for doctors. If you don't have a bridge, like a spouse's plan or a massive health savings account, age 62 can go from a dream to a nightmare in one medical bill. Reason number 4 is the divorced spouse loophole. This is a huge secret in the US system. If you were married for at least 10 years and have been divorced for at least 2, you can claim benefits based on your ex-spouse's work record, even if they've remarried. If your ex earned way more than you could get 50% of their full retirement amount. Filing at 62 might unlock this cash flow for you immediately. Your ex never even needs to know, and it doesn't reduce their check at all. It's one of the few times the government actually rewards you for a failed marriage. Reason number 5 is sequence of returns protection. Imagine it's a market crash here, like 2008 or 2022. Your 401k is down 25%. If you don't have Social Security, you're forced to sell your stocks at a loss just to buy milk and eggs. This is called reverse compounding, and it destroys retirement plans. By taking Social Security at 62, you create a guaranteed safety floor. You use the government's money to pay your bills while you let your Tesla or Nvidia stocks recover. Filing early is a tactical defensive move to protect your real wealth from Wall Street's mood swings. Reason number 6 is the spousal coordination hack. Most people analyze Social Security like they're single, but if you're married, you're playing a team sport. Here's the part that kills your household income. Your spouse cannot claim spousal benefits until you file for your own. If you're the higher earner and you decide to be smart and wait until age 70, your spouse might be forced to skip 8 years of income they were eligible for. If their spousal benefit is $1,500 a month and you make them wait 8 years, your household just lost $144,000 that you can never, ever get back. The fire hose at 70 doesn't matter if you let the house burn down in your 60s because you were too stubborn to turn on the faucet. Reason number 7 is the survivor benefit double dip. This is the most counterintuitive strategy in the entire US tax code. If your spouse was the higher earner but they have a terminal illness or poor health, the math flips on its head. You can file for your own smaller benefit at age 62, collect that cash while they are still with you, and then, if they pass away, you stop your check and switch to their much larger survivor benefit. It is the only legal way to double dip into the system. You get some money now and the big faucet later. Leaving your own check unclaimed while a sick spouse is alive is essentially leaving a giant tip for the IRS. They don't need your tips, Joe. They get enough of your money. Reason number 8 is diffusing the tax torpedo. This is high-level planning that most local advisors don't even understand. Right now, up to 85% of your Social Security can be taxed if your provisional income is too high. But here's the secret window: the years between age 62 and age 73. At 73, the government forces you to take money out of your traditional 401k and IRA. These are called required minimum distributions, or RMDs. These RMDs act like a tax bomb, pushing your income into higher brackets and making your Social Security checks expensive to own. By filing at 62, you can collect years of income while your tax bracket is still low. You're essentially clearing out the faucet before the IRS floodgates open in your 70s. It's not about how much the government gives you, it's about how much they let you keep. Now, let's talk about the zip code hack, also known as geographic arbitrage. Earning $2,228 a month from Social Security in San Francisco or New York City is basically a recipe for eating ramen noodles for the rest of your life. But $2,228 a month in a low-cost state like West Virginia, or even better, in a beach town in Portugal or Mexico, that is a 5-star lifestyle. If you're willing to move, age 62 isn't the finish line, it's your escape hatch. Why would you work 8 more years in a high-stress job just to have a slightly bigger check in an expensive city when you could be sipping a drink on a beach with a fully paid-for life right now? Wealth isn't a number in a bank account. Wealth is the distance between your income and your zip code's cost of living. Let's look at the Rule of 72 opportunity cost. If you take that $2,238 at 62 and you don't need it for rent, and instead you put it into a brokerage account, you are putting your money to work during a period where it still has time to double. If Joe invests his Social Security checks from age 62 to 70 and gets a standard 8% return, he doesn't just have the $214,000 he collected, he has significantly more because of the compounding growth. Waiting until 70 is essentially a bet that the government's 8% delayed credit is better than what the actual global economy can produce. Historically, the stock market plus the ability to control your own capital usually wins. Here's the final reality check: the go-go years versus the no-go years. Financial advisors love spreadsheets because spreadsheets don't get tired, they don't get arthritis, they don't get bored, but humans do. Your spending in retirement follows a very specific curve. You will spend significantly more money at 63 on travel, hiking, and seeing your grandkids than you will at age 85. At 85, you're likely sitting in a recliner watching the same news cycle on repeat. The value of $1 when you were 62 is worth 10 times more than $1 when you were 85, because at 62, your body can actually go out and use it to create memories. You're trading the best years of your life for a bigger check in your worst years. Does that sound like a smart trade to you? So, what is the money simplified verdict? If you're in perfect health, if you have $10 million in the bank, and if you genuinely love your 60-hour-a-week job, then by all means, wait until 70. But if you want to protect your family's portfolio from the next market crash, if you want to unlock thousands in spousal benefits, or if you simply want to buy back your freedom while your knees still work, 62 isn't a trap. It is a calculated strategic exit from a system that is designed to keep you working until you're too old to enjoy the reward. Don't be like the guy who spent 40 years building a faucet, only to die of thirst because he was waiting for more pressure. Open the valve, drink the water. Live your life. If this reality check made you think twice about your retirement plan, you're already ahead of 90% of the population. But let's be real, if you're not subscribed to Money Simplified, you're basically choosing to stay in the dark while everyone else finds the exit. We're sharing the financial cheat codes the system wants to keep hidden. If you want to keep getting played by the banks and the IRS, feel free to ignore us. But if you want to take your life back, you know what to do. What should we simplify next? Option A, how to legally pay $0 in taxes on your 401k withdrawals. Or Option B, the secret Roth IRA loophole that lets you retire at 50 without penalties. Drop an A or a B in the comments. I read every single one of them. I'll see you in the next one. Joe is already looking at his bank app. You should too. Go look. Seriously. Now.